Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to have a look at the review of Days of Doom. I would like to thank Atari for a review copy of this game. As always, if you like what you see, subscribe because it's free. So first of all, what's Days of Doom? So Days of Doom is kind of like the combination of Death Road to Canada and maybe Darkest Dungeon. Best way to describe it, it's a turn-based tactical RPG with roguelike elements, and you have to take your group of survivors from one part of the world to another in hopes to finding the safe haven known as Sanctuary. Gameplay as a whole is really good. It's divided into three main sections. So you have your prep area where you get everything ready. You select the characters you want to embark with, any items, anything you gain from previous runs, you bring back to your base to expand it, which is very common in roguelites. The second bit to the game is the traversal. So you move your bus from one sector of the map to another, and the idea is to traverse the different biomes. There's different settlements or little spots on the map, which can be either combat squares, events, shops, and the boss fight, which is very tough. Combat is extremely satisfying. You have your group on one side of the map and the enemies scattered on the other. You prep as per usual, and then you have to eradicate all the enemies from the field. Probably the biggest strength of this game is the fact that you have 8 different classes, obviously each with its own strength and weaknesses, but also how you synergize your characters in your team with the items and props scattered around the environment, which can be used to aid you in a victory. These include, for example, barrels of oil, which if you have someone like a pyromancer in your team, can use it to his advantage to cause as much damage as possible. A lot of area of effect attacks. Then you have characters like the priestess, whose main speciality is to cast this spell which stops any damage to be inflicted on any character of your choice. All characters have 2 action points, and you have to decide whether to maybe move and attack, or attack and then move, or attack twice, etc. It's very important to keep an eye on who's next on the character queue at the top of the screen. The gameplay is very addictive, especially when you consider the amount of different combinations you can come up with in order to gain the upper hand, and there's a lot of room for learning from mistakes in this game, which is always good in roguelites. As to be expected, enemies should not be taken lightly. There's been a few runs where I've had to say goodbye to my team and start again, simply because I did not expect how the enemies would react. A good example of that is the amalgam, which is like this fat zombie made out of different body parts. Now that one, keep an eye for that one, because the second it's defeated, it'll blow up and it will break into 2 standard zombies, which are kind of like the standard cronies you find. But yeah, that explosion can cause some serious damage and turn the tide of a match. In terms of flaws with the gameplay or anything I would have liked to have seen, well, I think there's a good amount of playable characters that you can add to your teams, and obviously, yeah, like the more you play, the more you get out of it, so your mileage may vary. It would be nice to see maybe more characters to be included in the future, so, you know, there's always the possibility that the team might release more patches or updates or DLCs, etc. The controls are pretty spot on. My only criticism would be that on the Switch version, which I played on, to have a look at the stats of each character or enemy on the map, on the battlefield I should say, you have to hold down the right stick, and it's not something you can toggle. And yeah, it's a bit tedious. But other than that, all the other controls are great. It would be good to maybe see more accessibility features in the settings. Again, this is not a criticism. The game is spectacular. I really enjoyed it. I'm really addicted to it. But you know, there's rooms for improvement, but what we've got here is very good. In terms of visuals, audio and presentation, I think it's pretty spot on. I really like the comic book aesthetic of really black outlines and shadow in contrast with the flat colors. Again, it really reminded me of games like Darkest Dungeon, and I absolutely love that art style. The music is a bit somber and very fitting for the type of game it is. I did feel maybe one or two songs felt a tad repetitive, but other than that, I was happy with the overall presentation of the game. I really like the fact that there's zombies, but there's also lizards, and how the lizards are part of modern day conspiracy theory and folklore, and they've included that into this game. I thought that was a really nice touch. And yeah, the overall design of all the characters and the sceneries are very good. I really like them. I particularly like the diversity of biomes and some of the effects such as the rain and fire and so forth. I think they've done a really good job in animating those. The game can be downloaded from the Nintendo eShop for $26.99 or your original equivalent. Bear in mind that there is a physical copy of this and it's slightly cheaper, although the download size of the game is only 1.143 gigabytes. I think this is a no-brainer to pick up if you're a fan of strategy games, strategy RPGs with tactical and roguelike elements, especially those which try maybe a few different things like this one does, of trying to use elements of the environment to create absolute carnage. Again, I'm very happy to have had the chance to play this, so again, thank you to Atari for sending me a review copy. I didn't want to try this out, especially because I didn't see much of this game online other than maybe a couple of developer interviews or Ask Me Anything, I think it was. But yeah, it's a great game. It's got a good opportunity to expand on the franchise and maybe add more stuff to the base game. But other than that, we at Greening Wolf give this game an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching. If you like what you've seen, please consider subscribing. A lot of you watch this video and probably won't subscribe. Please do, it really helps out. Hit the bell for any notifications. I try to put out as much content as possible. If I don't, it's probably because I'm doing reviews for either Rapid Reviews or Switch Up. But other than that, yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Are you gonna pick this up? If you're looking for an affordable Pro Controller alternative that looks even better, FunLab have you covered. Use the affiliate link in the description with the coupon code Greenie for 15% off. Safe everyone, keep on gaming, peace.